You ever notice how the entire world stops for the Winter Olympics? Millions of people glued to screens, watching figure skaters spin, skiers climb down mountains, hockey players battle for medals. They're screaming, crying, celebrating like they just won gold themselves. But you feel nothing. And it's not because you hate winter. It's not because you don't appreciate athleticism. You just don't care. Society calls you boring or antisocial, but neurobiology says something different. Your brain simply refuses to accept fake dopamine. Today, we're breaking down why you don't feel tribal euphoria during the Olympics, or football season, or basketball playoffs, or any sporting event for that matter. And by the end, you'll understand why this isn't a defect, it's something far more unsettling. Because here's what nobody wants to admit. There's a price being paid, and most people don't even know they're paying it. Let's start with what's actually happening in a fan's brain when they watch the Olympics. When their country's athlete wins a medal, their brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and dopamine, the reward chemical. The same neurochemical cocktail that fires when they accomplish something real, when they finish a project, when they solve a hard problem, when they actually win at something. Except they didn't do anything. They sat on a couch. They watched a stranger from their country, someone they've never met, will never meet, perform a triple axel or cross a finish line first. But their brain doesn't know the difference. Mirror neurons fire, the reward system activates, and for a brief moment they feel like they achieved something. This is called vicarious experience, living life through another person. And it works because humans are tribal creatures. We evolved in groups of 50 to 150 people. When someone in your tribe succeeded, it genuinely improved your survival odds. Your brain learned to celebrate their victory as your own, because in a real tribe, their success was your success. But here's where it gets dark. In a real tribe, you knew these people. You hunted with them. You fought beside them. You shared resources. Their victory had tangible consequences for your life. The figure skater representing your country? They don't know you exist. They'll never share their medal with you. Their sponsorship deals don't put food on your table. Their victory changes absolutely nothing about your material reality. Same with the football player scoring a goal. Same with the swimmer breaking a record. Same with the basketball team winning a championship. But your brain releases the same chemicals anyway, the same reward, the same satisfaction, the same sense of accomplishment, for free, for nothing, for watching. And your brain, the one that refuses to engage with this, sees through it. Not because you're smarter, not because you're better, but because somewhere in your neurological wiring, the connection between watching and reward never properly formed. Or maybe it formed and then broke. Or maybe it's still there, but your threshold is higher. You need real stakes, real consequences, real skin in the game. And this makes you weird, antisocial, difficult at parties. Because there's a social script around sports. Whether it's the Winter Olympics, the World Cup, or the NBA Finals, and you can't perform it. You can't fake enthusiasm for conversations about medal counts and record times and performances you didn't see. You can't pretend yesterday's game mattered when tomorrow you'll forget it happened. But here's what nobody tells you about that social script. It's not just about fun. It's not just about entertainment. It's about belonging, about proving you're part of the tribe, about demonstrating loyalty to the collective through shared emotional experience. When everyone's talking about the Olympics and you're silent, you're not just boring, you're suspect. You're showing that you don't sync emotionally with the group, that you can't be manipulated by the same triggers, that you operate outside the collective nervous system, and tribes don't trust outsiders. There's a term in psychology, BIRGing, basking in reflected glory. Watch the language fans use. When their team wins, they say, "We won." When their country gets gold, they say, "We're dominating." When their team loses, they say, "They lost." That pronoun shift isn't accidental. It's the brain claiming credit while avoiding blame. It's extracting the psychological benefits of victory without bearing any of the costs of defeat. This is a hack, a cheat code, a way to feel successful without doing anything successful. And for most people, it works perfectly. They get to experience triumph multiple times per week, during the Olympics, during football season, during basketball playoffs, just by watching screens. Their brain gives them achievement chemicals for zero achievement. Your brain doesn't run this program. When you watch someone else win, your neurons don't fire, your dopamine doesn't spike, your oxytocin stays flat. You see the reality clearly. Person in colored uniform performed task. Result of task has no impact on your life. System does not compute reward. And you can't fake it. You've tried. You've sat through Olympic watch parties, nodded along during football discussions, pretended to care who won the championship. But inside, there's just nothing. Just the empty recognition that you're watching adults compete while other adults scream about it. But this creates a problem that runs deeper than social awkwardness. Because if you're not getting your dopamine from vicarious victories, where are you getting it? If you're not basking in reflected glory, whether it's Olympic medals or football trophies, what glory are you basking in? This is where the pressure starts building, because you need that dopamine. Your brain requires it. It's not optional. Dopamine is the motivation molecule. Without it, you can't function, can't focus, can't feel pleasure, can't see the point of anything. So if you're not getting it from the cheap, easy source that everyone else uses, if you're not getting your fix from watching strangers compete, then you have only one option. You have to earn it the hard way, through actual achievement, actual progress, actual work. And actual work is exhausting. It's uncertain. It's slow. It requires years of effort for rewards that might never come. While everyone else gets their dopamine hit every weekend just by turning on a screen, whether it's the Olympics, a football match, or a basketball game, you have to build something, create something, accomplish something real. This is the hidden cost of your wiring. You can't coast on collective emotions. You can't borrow someone else's victory. You're forced to generate your own meaning in a world designed to provide meaning through spectacle. And spectacle is everywhere. It's not just the Olympics. It's not just football or basketball or swimming. It's reality TV, where you live through manufactured drama. It's social media, where you experience fake intimacy with people who don't know you. It's celebrity culture, where you invest emotionally in the relationships of strangers. It's politics as team sport, where you get tribal satisfaction from watching your side win arguments. All of it is vicarious. All of it is borrowed. All of it is your brain getting rewarded for observing instead of doing. And you can't access any of it. You're locked out of the easy dopamine, the cheap meaning, the fast satisfaction. You're like someone who's immune to a drug that everyone else is addicted to. They think you're lucky. You feel cursed. Because here's what they don't see. While they're riding high after their country won gold at the Olympics, you're in the same emotional state you were before the event started. Flat, unmoved, unchanged. And you have to sit there and listen to them talk about it like something important happened, like the universe shifted, like their lives are different now. And you know they'll forget about it by next month. You know in 4 years they'll do it all again. You know the victory they're celebrating so intensely right now will be completely meaningless soon. But they're happy. Genuinely happy. And you're not. Because you can't be. Because your brain won't let you cheat. There's an evolutionary logic to your wiring that most people don't understand. In any tribe, while everyone else was gathered around the fire celebrating the hunt, someone had to stay sober. Someone had to watch the perimeter. Someone had to maintain vigilance while everyone else got drunk on collective emotion. That was your role, not the chief, not the celebrated warrior. The guard, the observer, the one who doesn't fall for group intoxication, the one who sees clearly when everyone else is seeing through the distortion of shared euphoria. And this role was crucial, because threats don't stop during celebrations. Predators don't wait for convenient moments. Someone had to maintain independent judgment while everyone else synchronized their emotions. You're that someone. Your mirror neurons work fine. Your empathy functions normally, but they activate for concrete things, for people you actually know, for causes that actually matter, for achievements that actually count, not for abstract symbols, not for flags and medals and team jerseys. And this creates a terrible isolation, because modern society is built on abstract symbols, on nations you've never seen, on teams you'll never join, on athletes you'll never meet, on victories you can't experience, on meaning you have to take on faith. And your brain keeps asking the same question, but what does this have to do with me? And the answer keeps coming back, nothing. Absolutely nothing. So you're surrounded by people experiencing intense emotions about things that don't affect them. During the Olympics, during football season, during every major sporting event. And you're standing there feeling nothing, and they think something's wrong with you. And maybe you start thinking something's wrong with you too. But here's what's actually happening. You're paying the cost up front, right now, in social awkwardness and isolation and the constant low-grade anxiety that you're broken somehow, that you're missing the gene that makes life enjoyable, that everyone else got the manual for how to be human and you got a defective copy. But they're paying a cost too. They just don't see it yet. Because every hour they spend watching other people live is an hour they're not living themselves. Every dopamine hit they get from vicarious victory is a hit they didn't have to earn. And the brain adapts. It learns. It starts expecting reward without effort. And slowly, imperceptibly, the threshold shifts. Real achievement starts feeling harder. Actual work starts feeling less rewarding. Because why would you spend years building something when you can get the same neurochemical payoff from watching strangers compete for 90 minutes? You can't make that trade. Your brain won't allow it. So you're forced into a different path, the harder path, the one where dopamine comes from actual progress, where satisfaction comes from real work, where meaning comes from things you can touch and verify and control. And this path is lonelier, slower, more uncertain. There's no crowd cheering you on, no instant feedback, no scoreboard showing you're winning. Just you and the work and the grinding uncertainty of whether any of it matters. But here's what happens at the end of that path. While everyone else is exactly where they were, still watching the Olympics every 4 years, still following seasons, still living through others, you've actually moved. You've built something that exists in the world, independent of your observation of it. Your victories are small, quiet, often invisible, but they're yours, not borrowed, not reflected, real. And the dopamine you get from them lands differently. It stays longer. It builds instead of fading because it came from something true. And in a world engineered to harvest attention through emotional manipulation, through artificial tribes and vicarious victories, your inability to participate isn't a bug. It's the only thing keeping you free. Don't force yourself to care about the Olympics if they leave you empty. Don't fake enthusiasm for football if it bores you. Don't apologize for having an internal dopamine source in a world addicted to external validation. While they're celebrating someone else's victory, you're building your own. And when the Olympics end, when the high fades and everyone returns to their unchanged lives, you won't return to anything because you never left. That's not coldness. That's clarity. That's the price and the prize of a brain that demands real stakes in a world selling simulations. Guard your attention. It's the only thing that's actually yours.